Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my crafting area. I am Angie with A Sparrow Creations, and I am going to be doing a little tutorial on how I make my keychains with UV resin, and I have some dried flowers and some glitter. And I was going to show you how I do mine. I also have my UV light. So these are what you will need to begin this project. You will need UV resin. You will need some type of mold, clear mold for UV resin. You're going to need, your additives, whether it be paint, glitter. I have dried flowers here, and a UV light. So for this tutorial, that is what you will need. Now, I am going to be just simply, and I'll also have a couple more little molds, which I'm not sure what these are. I bought all of my items online. You can check on Amazon. I believe Walmart has some of these items, either in the store or online. So they are readily available. And some craft stores, Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, you may check all of those. This is not a video promoting any of those places. This is just some ideas of where you might get some of these items. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is I'm going to try to show you. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this because I am on my computer doing this live. I basically have to set this first layer before I can lay flowers on so that there is nothing, the flowers aren't, sticking through the bottom of the keychain. So I'm going to just put a very thin layer. We're going to start with, let's start with an A. There's a lot of letters, a lot of names that begin with an A. So I'm just going to put a real thin layer. And we'll do the B. And we'll do the D. The A, the B, and the D. Again, I'm just putting a thin layer. And let me grab one thing. I'll be right back. So in order to work out all of the bubbles, I am going to be using my torch, and I'm going to use my stick here to spread this to all the edges because I do want this to make sure that the whole thing is in there. I may have to add a little bit more to each of these just to make sure there is adequate. Okay. You can pop bubbles a couple different ways. You can use your torch. You can let it set for a couple minutes, and that lets the bubbles rise to the top and pop on their own. Or you can take a toothpick and pop each one, but I'm just going to quickly see how quickly I am just kind of shooting it. Okay. So then I'm going to add my light. Let me see if I can. It's really hard for you guys to see this. Let me move that out there. I just put this on a 60-second timer because it's clear. It's not going to take a whole lot of time other than to make sure that you got it all the way over. I have 3 letters that are spaced out, so turn these around. Okay, so that should be enough that they are pretty hardened. Okay, so now all I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of these flowers. I like these pink ones. And I am just going to clip a couple of these off. And I'm going to just start snipping some of the flowers off. You don't have to have the whole flower or the stem. You just want enough that you can add these in there. So all I'm going to do is simply take and put that on there like that. And these are just some dried flowers, again, that I think I got these off Amazon. You can put as many or many as you like. It's your personal preference. You're the creator. So you get to decide. You can do all one in just these flowers, which kind of like that. Okay, like that. I'm going to add one more to this part right there. Okay, and I feel like this one needs one right there. All right. There's that. Kind of lay them down so that they're not sticking up, just because it's going to cause bubbles if there's more sticking up. All right, so then, let's see. Let's add I like these. I'm going to do these for the bee. It's got some curvature to it. So let's do these. I'll put this right here. I have some more of these. You can just kind of sprinkle these in here like that. No. Again, it's your own personal preference. There's so many tutorials out there. Why do another one? Because it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I really hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm just going to add a few more different flowers in here until I'm happy with it. And then I have my D over here. Let me add some of those to that. I got my D. Let's see. I love these purple ones. Let's add some of these purple ones here. We got purple. I'll add some of these in there. I'm gonna turn that over. It's like now that D wasn't completely cured, so we may have to add some more resin and light. Add a few more of these in there. Again, it's all your personal preference. Whatever you want. Maybe this guy lives right here. He's in there like that. Okay? So we're going to, all right, we got all that. Now all I'm going to do is add some more UV resin. Now this time I'm going to cover it. Now the important thing about using UV resin and the clear molds is the reason it has to, be clear to be able to dry or cure it all the way from the front to the back. Once we get these cured pretty good on this side, then we can turn the mold over and cure it from the back side. That way it gets an extra cure. Now I have a couple of these that are still sticking up. So I'm just going to take my little stick and help push them down into the resin. So we got that. I'm going to give it a little more. Then our D. I hope everybody is doing good today. We have so much craziness going on in the world, a little bit of getaway, a little bit of escape for me is crafting. Put that back down in there. Make sure it's covered. Make sure it stays down in there. Okay. Some of those want to rise back to the top. We're going to blast it. Get those bubbles out. Okay. If they rise back to the top, just give them a shove. Yes, it does make bubbles, and you're going to have to blast it again. And then you're going to hit it with the UV light. I'm starting on this side with that D because it didn't get fully cured on the first little start of the pour. So I'm just going to let the light rest on it first. And you can do what I just did and set your light in your resin on accident. All right. Now I can tell that this one is still kind of sticky. So I'm going to leave that on there for a minute or two. If you have made any of these, or you have a different technique, we all kind of learn different techniques from the tutorials that we watch in our own self-experiments. I know that's been pretty much the way I have learned is, pretty much getting a gist of how to do it and then making my own with experiments and different things. I wanted to make one with this black onyx glitter. Yeah, it is going to be very hard to cure, but being that it is a UV resin, you can put this in the sunshine as well, and it very well will cure because it's UV light. So we shall see what else we do here. Now this D is dry to the touch, and I can still feel some bumps where some of the flowers came up to the surface. So I'll show you how I dome this, what they call a dome, and put another layer on top so that it is not protruding out. With a really good UV light, it shouldn't take no more than 60 seconds if it's a small project. Now, because this one I dipped my light in that one, it's going to certainly need more resin, which we'll go ahead and put that on there because I accidentally did that. This one is going to need more on top. And I love how this stuff is so self-leveling. Like, it is going to go to the places that you want it to go, and then it's going to stop. So this is what you do to dome it. You would normally take this out of the mold, but I am going to go ahead and do it while it's in the mold, just for the video's sake, and making sure that it reaches all the places I want it to go. It's still going. And I'm going to do this B. Okay. So there's that. I'm going to blast it. That one had one on the inside. Now this is coming over, so I am going to try to get some of that off of there. And this is not the ideal way to do this, because it's going to make it have a big lip on there. But it's an over pour. So if I take a little bit and scrape it off. This also may be the how not to do something. I think a lot of my videos end up being the how not to. Okay, I'm going to blast it with the light. I'm going to start with the D. I don't want to blind you with the light, so I'll leave this over here. So tell me in the comments if you have made these before and what you do differently, what you learned from the video. Please like and share. Hit that like button. It costs literally nothing to like my video and share it. That is the greatest support you can give a small business owner and a creator, is to just like and share. Okay. So once that gets done, all right, so I'm going to try something I haven't done before. I'm going to put a little bit of this in here, and I have no idea what this is. This is just for pure entertainment here, because I don't even know how I'm going to get this out. This has got like lots of stuff down in there. Okay, just to see what this thing is, we're gonna fill it with UV resin. Up to the top. And I'm gonna let it sit there. Try not to knock it over. Okay, so those are pretty well ready to be popped over. I'm gonna blast that. It's got lots of bubbles down in there. And I'm just gonna gently tap it to help get some of those bubbles to the top. That heat is really close to my fingers. Not recommended. Okay, so let's see what this baby is. Since it's so deep, I'm going to make it 90 seconds. And I thought I was going to run out. very curious to see what this thing is. So I am most definitely going to go grab some more UV resin. I don't want to keep doing that. I'm going to create more air bubbles. So let me go find some more. I'll be right back. Okay. Alright, found some more UV resin. This is even a different brand, but it's still UV resin. So it really doesn't matter. It's all pretty well the same stuff. As long as it's UV and you got clear molds. But if you do add glitters, it does take longer for it to cure, for sure. Which is what I'm going to do next, just to show you. I'm just going to go ahead and take this lid off since I already have been using it. And this still has some in it, so I'm just going to turn it upside down over here. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. Got a big air bubble right there at the top. Isn't that interesting? So it's hardened, but I still see, it actually still has air coming out of it. Look at all those bubbles. Look at that. You see that? That's interesting. Let's see. Because it's still not cured all the way through to the center. It is like making lots of bubbles. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it on its side and cure it again. All right, so we got those. Now I'm going to do one with glitter. So I'm going to put it in a little cup by itself. I want to just make sure I got enough for that one cup. Oops. And I'm going to take a little bit of my glitter here. I do have this pour spout. You can punch it out. They're very hard. Oh well, we'll just pour it. I'm probably going to use this stick again anyway. I'm going to put a little bit in there, just so it's enough. Mixing it really well. Okay. Now, let's see how our little thing is doing. It's still bubbling. So it's telling me it's still not ready. And I'm just going to leave it under the light. I'm going to put it on for 90 seconds again. All right, so we have this little guy we were working with. I'm going to fill this up the rest of the way. I have no idea what this is, so this ought to be very interesting. This onyx glitter reminds me of coffee grounds. I don't know why. That's kind of how the texture of it is like coffee grounds. Okay, and it's only going to go where I put it, so I'm going to try and mix it a little bit in here. Okay. Now this isn't ideal, but I'm gonna try to help that down in there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and set that part under the light. And let's do a letter. We will do a letter in this same we're going to go ahead and let's do the N. Right. Like so. I have some bubbles that are like on the sides. They don't always pop with the torch. Okay, I'm gonna let's add this little guy. I think he is like, whoops. Hang on, before we add him, we need to cure that right quick. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's see. How are we doing? All right, so I can't fish any more bubbles out of this thing. Looks kind of cool though. I can't wait to unhouse it and see exactly what this thing is. We're going to set it to the side. Then we're going to finish this one. Let's add some little elements in here. I'm going to add one of those. I'm going to go ahead and add that one. Okay. Then I'm going to add some more resin. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing over here. Okay. So I'm just going to add the UV clear. Now this might have not have been a very good idea to use UV resin for this particular mold because it does take a lot, and UV resin is more expensive than epoxy resin, a little bit more cheaper per bottle, but in the long run, you use a lot more of it. My flowers keep on afloat. Okay. I'll hit this with the torch. Now, it might have been a better idea to wait for the resin or to have hit it with the light for a few seconds to thicken it up and then put those flowers in so they wouldn't float back up. But, you know, you live and you learn. This is how we learn. Him over here, let him finish curing, and then we're going to go back to our N. Okay, our N is ready. The flowers floated back up to the top. Okay, so let's do some more of these. Some darker pinks. Yeah, I really liked. Here's some pretty purples. Kind of pushing it where I want it. Let's try. Let me trim this. Put him like right there. And that is going to stick up, so I'm going to trim it again. And put him here. Then let's see. I'm going to add this little guy. Maybe not. A little too thick. And I like these little purple guys. Let's put him in here. Okay. I'm going to take some of these out. Might be too much. I'm going to trim this guy off. So it's just a matter of preference, really, what you want, how you want it to look. I could go grab my tweezers and I could go grab my stick, but truthfully, I am simply going to make it do the same thing with my fingers as much as possible. Okay. Now, add a few of those up through there. All right, so we got that. Now we're going to add a little bit more clear resin. And that is just to secure these flowers down, not to cap it off. we're going to cap it off with the black onyx color so that these flowers will really pop. Okay. So I got that. And all I'm going to do is make sure these are pushed down in there. They're flat in the resin as much as possible. Okay. We're going to hit it with the light. Okay, so this thing needs more time. And now I actually might be able to push those down in there. Keep them down in there. There we go. They're not floating back up to the top. Wow, they are still floating back up to the top. Of course, that is a lot of thick resin right there. It's going to take it some time. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit it. Might have been a little bit too close to the light. Yeah, being that it's already thickened up that much. I'm going to go ahead and hold my light up. Okay. So we're going to put some more UV resin in our onyx cup. Enough to cover this in. Yeah, it's already hardening now. This would be a great place for something to hold your light up a little higher so you don't have to hold it. And right offhand, without getting up and leaving the video again, I really don't have that readily available. Yeah, that is still not ready. So we're going to hit that light again. All right, so we got this. We're going to hit it with some more glitter. We're going to get a lot of glitter this time because we want this to be really coated. It's going to be kind of thick in your cup. Again, reminds me of coffee grounds. Reminds me of coffee grounds. Okay, so we have that cured as much as possible. And we're going to just simply cap it off this time. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit right here. Just to be sure to fill that up. All right, Okay, so this is going to take a lot more time. I'm going to have to put that one in the sunlight. Let's go ahead and hit this one. We're going to do 90 because it's dark. While that one, I think I'm going to do this S. Actually, let's do this R. I hope you are enjoying my video. If you are, please do me a favor and hit that like on different things that I do. I am not just a creator, video creator, obviously, but I also make t-shirts, the UV jewelry. I have dabbled a little bit in making a few different things, UV resin. I also do tumblers, and you can find me on most of my items at www.thetumblerlady.com. I'm going to go ahead and hit this one real quick. Just because, yeah. There are a lot of items that I do other than resin. I just like coming on here, honestly, and trying different things and seeing what all, if I can push the limits of something, I certainly will. Okay, so this one, remember that one, the one that I did not know what it was or how I'm going to get it out of this mold? Well, here we go. We're going to see what this thing is first and how to get it out of here. I mean, how would you know if you want to try something? If you watched a tutorial and watched somebody really having trouble with something, is it really worth it? I have made that judgment. I'll tell you right now, the tumblers, the snow globe tumblers. I watched so many tutorials on people saying, how great they were, and I was like, okay, great. I'm going to find some way I can, do these. So I ordered the tumblers. I ordered the stuff to make them. Then I started seeing tumbler tutorials and people posting about how they were having these things explode, leaking, and I was like, the trouble of all of this, I do not see, the benefit of that. So I canceled my cup order for that. I do still have all the other items that I need to make them, but I'll use that with something else. I'm live. What? I can't hear you. Yes, you can. So that's what this ended up being. I have to figure out exactly what that is. I'll use it in something. So there's that. Okay. So yeah, that's how we learn. That's really how we learn. I'm going to, ooh, this is really pretty. I like this right here. I think it's eucalyptus. I'm going to put a piece of that in here.
Hey, do you wake up when Daddy wakes up?
Sometimes, not all the time.
If you wake up on Friday morning, can you tell him I said bye?
Yeah. You want me to wake you up so you can tell him bye?
Yeah, because I won't be able to see him.
Okay. I sure will.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to trim this a little bit more. Put that in there like that. Make sure it's down in there. This is like, so I think I'm going to change my mind. That one is a little bit too thin, too thick for this particular mold. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to make, let's put him in here.
What the fuck is this?
Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to put my resin on top. Just to put that down in there. We're going to demold all of these here in just a moment. I want to make sure these are down in there for the most part. Like that.
This strawberry shortcake was messy but busting at the same time because I put a little bit too much jelly on it.
But it was good, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit too much jelly on it.
I'm going to flash care these on the other side. Not flash care. Sorry, we do not want flash care. I'm still trying to figure out what this is for. Do you know what this is for? It's a pretty element nonetheless. Like a pencil. Might be pen molds. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to add the rest of this UV. These really make color pop, flowers pop when you add a dark color or even a light color sometimes to your work at the back, on the back side.
Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. Hi.
Have a little bit more. I think I'm just gonna make some rocks with the rest of this. Rocks, yes, rocks. You can just add these to any project later on. Making little daubs of this. I'm putting it straight onto a piece of parchment paper. It'll come right off.
Yes, you are. You're the best puppy. You're the best puppy in the whole life world.
Andrew.
What?
You're very loud.
You're the best puppy in the whole wide world.
So, yeah. I'm just going to make some little onyx rocks for a later project. I think it was I forget who it was I saw that said you could do this. And I think of his name later. He does this. He's the one that showed me how. Where I learned to do this. That way you don't lose your resin. You can always use it for something. Okay, so these are pretty well done. I'm going to go ahead and demold them. Actually, they do need the other side done a little bit. I'm going to hit them with the other side because that one is sticky. That one is still sticky. I'm going to do it again after I finish these rocks. So I'm usually Facebook Live. That is where you can find me on my Crafting with Angie page. It is a private page. And if you would like to join, please just go ahead and join, and I can approve you. All right, so I think those are done. I'm going to hit this one more time because it was still pretty sticky. Yeah. Having trouble getting that one to turn over. If I'd have let this cure a little bit more, it wouldn't have been liquidy. Okay, so I'm gonna turn these over. These. From the back side. Okay, so after I do these and I demold them, then I'll show you what they all look like. Here's my A. My A, I'm going to have to shave him off a little bit. And then, of course, I got quite a few air bubbles in there. And I'll just need to drill my hole and put this on a key ring. Okay, and then we got this last R. And I still got to do something with this one. This one is still, it's hardening. It certainly is hardening. It's got to have some more resin. Cap it off. Because it did sink down in there. Those bubbles are the ones that were in that first layer. Okay, so I'm just going to put this back over here while it's... All right. So we'll start with these since they were cool. Then I'll have to shave these and trim these down because the overspill. It does come off pretty easily though. Take a nail file and you can trim those down. So here we go. Make that where you can see it. That's really pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay. Then we have our B. Pretty, pretty. We have our A and our B and our D. Then we got our N. Ooh, very pretty. Mm-hmm. R. Mm-hmm. See how pretty that is. Actually, it's backwards. It's backwards with the flowers. The color needs to go on the back. But with the N, it really doesn't matter because the N, well, I guess it does. So, see, that's how you learn. This is the back. This is the front. So I'll have to fix these in the future with the dark on the bottom. Okay. This thing, we will go ahead and let that cure for a minute. All right, so for future reference, these need to be black on the bottom. All right, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. That is all for today. We definitely will be back with more. And I hope you will consider hitting that like button and that subscribe button to see all of my future tutorials as to possibly what not to do. Thank you so much for joining me today. You have a blessed day. Bye.